tracking financial foundations, getting into what cash flow actually stands for. Let's talk about this real quick. Now, this is the foundation of every business. It is a energy resource coming from one to another. That energy in this case is cash. It's money. And that's what we need to control. That's what we need to have a good foundation plan and strategy ahead so that we can utilize and be a good steward of that energy. Um, what are we going to get to when we have a big purchase order ahead of us? Have we planned for that? Do we have the capital for that? Do we have the purchasing power for that, right? That is a plan that we've set forth. Now, how do we do that? That's the big question. How do we always make sure that we're not in over our head, upside down, all those metaphors? We do that by setting foundations. And that's in our projections, that's in our P&Ls, that's in our outlay. If I know that starting a business is going to cost me, let's say, $10,000 just to get an initial inventory cost up, that means I need to make sure I have the ability to purchase with 10,000. Now, seems very obvious. I understand. The importance of going over the simple stuff over and over and over again is so that we don't forget it. If you have $20,000 allocated to a business, do your best not to spend 20. Do your best to spend as little of that as possible. Give yourself breathing room. Why? Because that energy will allow you to grow and exponentially build that resource. How do we make sure we don't get in over our head? Projections. We do that spreadsheet. We do, if you want to get more advanced, QuickBooks. But you have access to your P&L, your projection spreadsheet for that very reason. It shouldn't look like one big lump sum that's hitting you and that you feel that burden. It should look like an energy flow of payments, processing that then gets into sales, that then turns into a machine that then pays for itself, right? If we were to take everything we had and just threw it all in the mix at once, we don't know where that's all dispersed. And that's also the other reason why it's very important to track every expense in and every credit out. That way we know every piece of energy coming in and every piece of energy going out, because cash flow is king. Now, without getting too complicated, just always make sure that you have in mind the plan that I have set forth. If I want to build something that costs X amount of dollars, that I've planned that ahead of time. And I've planned it in a way that I don't need to spend it all at once. I've planned it in a way that I can disperse those costs, because cash flow is king. Now, it would be a lot easier. Let's say, just for round numbers, I have $5,000 a month coming in. Okay. And I have a $10,000 purchase order. That's 2 months of expenses. Got it. Well, let's say I have to make that purchase order in 6 months. Am I going to wait until 6 months to then pull 10 grand out of the account? Or am I going to put in 1 month at a time enough so that I add up to 10 grand so it's there and it's saved and it's ready to be deployed, and the rest of the cash flow has been going to action, has been going to profits, has been going to whatever I want it to go to, right? That's a much easier pill to swallow versus I'm utilizing all $5,000. Now it's time to come up with 10 grand. That's double my monthly. I don't know where to get it. Now I'm strapped. So you get that picture. Very simple mindset to have. Just always be in front of it. That's the goal. That's the reminder here. Lots of resources to go through. One of the best ones is the SBA, the Small Business Administration. Log on to that site, get through it. You can see tons of business tips, tricks, strategies, mindset. They have obviously SBA loans. They have SBA financial forecast, all the good stuff towards building a good small business. That is one of the biggest things, is to make sure that you have your financial foundation set. Because if you don't, the business will die. And that's not what we're in the business for. We're in the business of momentum, growing, and building the kingdom. So get out there.